interview from Snoop Dogg that made the feds begin to wonder his involvement.
You were with Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac. I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So.
Saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining.
Yo, what it do? It's your boy Buck Breeze, Mr. No Slacking himself. No slacking involved. That shit is bad for your health. You know the vibes, man. What's really good? Tap on in. Yo, crazy shit, man. So this shit just dropped. They saying that Snoop Dogg, man, has something to do with our boy Pac murder, man. I don't know, man, about that, though, man. Know what I mean? But they saying he was arrested for it. But, you know, time is money, and we can't get $1 back. So let's tap on into this shit, man. Let's see what's really good. Let's see what's popping with it.
In case you missed it, the news wrote, new updates are happening in Tupac's murder case. Rappers in the industry from Snoop Dogg, Suge Knight, and Diddy are about to be arrested and questioned, where it's likely this interview from Snoop Dogg that made the feds begin to wonder his involvement.
You were with Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac. I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So.
Saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car with them.
Revealing that he was supposed to be in the BMW with Tupac and Suge.
I don't mean he has something to do with it. The feds always reaching, man. But all right, let's hear him out, though. Let's hear him out.
On that night in Las Vegas, but some last-minute changes, he suddenly didn't go, as the Tupac murder case is now being reinvestigated by a new Las Vegas police force, as new technology is creating new leads on who's guilty. At the time, 2 decades ago,
they always coming up with some new shit.
Snoop Dogg was heavily tapped into the streets. Many speculate that he could have received a tip that Tupac was going to be targeted on that night, which led to him avoiding getting in that car. The feds then found another interview from Snoop where he claims that 2 days before Tupac died, he felt like Tupac hated him.
I say a week before he died, we was best of friends. 2 days before he died, I don't think he liked me.
Why?
Because we was in New York. And it happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of shit to me, like just the worst you could think of. And I forgave him. And went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I like it. I want to do some music with him. And I just rubbed Cuz the wrong way, like tried to me out at you, and you talking about you want to do a song with him. I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked the music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. This video footage of all of us hanging out.
With the entire internet going into a frenzy, millions of fans would begin investigating it, but one viral thread would stand out from the others, which revolves around Snoop Dogg getting word that Tupac was allegedly a Fed. Now, an interview from an officer revealed Tupac was an industry plant with a job of stopping the beef between the red and blue street teams.
Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he's told me, you know, I basically asked, well,
let's pay attention to this right here, because this actually makes a lot of motherfucking sense, man.
Was Tupac only pretending to be in order to appeal to gangs and politicize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda that he came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Mutulu Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the and the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this type. And really, he was just an intellectual prodigy.
Then with the plan obviously not working, he suddenly passed away. But it makes sense as to why Snoop didn't want to go near him in Las Vegas on that night. But this thread also broke down every single piece of evidence that relates to Tupac still being alive, which is why the Tupac murder case was never even investigated by police until today. It starts with a 2010 interview from a rapper named Tretch, where things get very odd. In 2010, 2010, Treach was interviewed on the topic of Tupac before a concert. Treach and Tupac were very close friends back in the day. They even worked on a few albums together, but here's where it gets interesting. After Treach's interview, the cameraman forgot to stop recording. He placed his camera onto the floor, and in the footage, you can hear the interviewer asking Treach about Tupac, to which he responds, "Last time I saw him, he was in Cuba."
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question. Nobody knows. Y'all good? Yeah, we good. We good. Thanks a lot, man. We good.
Last time I saw him, he was in church.
Then only 2 weeks later, a video would be released onto a news website showing a video of Tupac supposedly chilling in a parking lot inside of Cuba.
Look, zoom in. That's Pac, man. He with the outlaw. And Reg from Holla Back. He's trying to be friendly and get autographs. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
Now, this created the Tupac is alive in Cuba theory, and ever since, it's been the biggest theory. But now in 2025, with new technology, what's being found is truly scary. As Suge Knight agrees that Tupac is alive and well. He said so in many interviews over the course of the last 2 decades, but one interview in particular.
I need y'all to jump in the comments, man. Y'all think Pac's still alive or what? Jump in the comments, man. Cause yo, Pac was my boy, man. If Pac's still alive, that should be some wild shit. If he come back after all these years, that's gonna be crazy.
Makes a very convincing case that he is still here. Tupac was allegedly doing fine in the hospital right before he passed away. Suge Knight says, "When I left that hospital, me and Tupac were laughing and joking. I don't see how someone can turn from doing so well to doing bad."
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I would say that Pac, you never know.
But according to police records, they wrote that Tupac was supposedly in a very deep sleep. So how in the world would he and Suge be laughing if Tupac was unconscious? It doesn't seem to add up in the moment. But when you compare it to another 2008 interview from Suge, he said the exact same thing. He is alive and that he's well.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They left.
In a 10-year span, Suge Knight stood on business saying the exact same thing, that Tupac is alive and well. But after that 2008 interview, Suge would almost lose his life at a nightclub when a man used a firearm in his direction 6 times. Suge Knight was hesitant to tell the police anything, as he immediately knew that it was likely due to him talking about Tupac during a public interview. But what's scarier is, Suge Knight Jr. made the exact same mistake. Suge Knight's son would take it to Instagram in 2018 saying that Tupac was alive and that he was living in Malaysia. Then after Suge Jr. posted this, another photo to Instagram showing a text conversation where someone said, "You have said too much, it's now time for you to go." This is when Suge Jr. would begin panicking, posting several photos of Tupac alongside modern day celebrities like 50 Cent and Beyonce, making it truly seem like someone was going after him, as on the photo with Tupac and Beyonce, he captioned it, "He never left us, but they'll be after me soon." While some do believe it was a publicity stunt for Suge Jr. to gain clout, others believe that it was factual, as he would be the one to know more about the case than anyone else in the world, considering who his father is, and that his father was right there at the scene of the crime. But when investigating the actual crime, this is where you start to notice the holes in the story, and let me explain. As on September 7th, 1996, Tupac was in Las Vegas with the head of his record label named Suge Knight. The two were off to the MGM Grand to watch a Mike Tyson match, as after it was over, they spotted an op in the lobby of the hotel.
Suge Knight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson at the MGM Grand. Keefe D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and 2 of their friends were also there. Keefe D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the thing was retaliation, after Tupac jumped Orlando and beat him up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
Security would end up breaking up the altercation between Tupac, Suge, and the ops. But Tupac and Suge would then go back to their hotel to change. The two would then go off to a club to party it up for the night. At around 11 p.m., the two began driving to Suge Knight's club, where things would go down right in the middle of the street.
Knew about Tupac's concert at the club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keith D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
The aftermath of the incident was a mystery for over a decade.
He could have survived them shots. I thought he got hit a lot worse than that.
The police investigated countless interviews, but it was one interview in particular that stood out. This would be none other than a man named Keith D. He was featured on DJ Vlad's show. During his interview, he would detail the moments of finding Tupac and pulling up on him.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
Got to the light. He was going to go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He was hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac?
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
Now, Keith D would then go into detail, speaking that Tupac was only targeted because he was the one reaching for his firearm first when he was stopped at the red light.
You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out.
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually?
No, once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car started at Tupac and Suge.
As Tupac already knew that something was going to go down. He was getting ready, but sadly he wasn't fast enough. But later on, Keith D would then have to show proof that anything he's saying is legitimate. He would then release an interrogation with the police on the night the crime occurred, confirming that that was actually him at the scene.
Lane starts. You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looks at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out of the
back seat or something.
Yeah. What do you see happening inside of their car?
I seen him going Suge head. I thought he was.
So Orlando cross Dre.
He leaned over on the window, we rolled down the window.
Now that the police had a main suspect, they would then investigate further. They would end up finding Keith D's reaction to Tupac passing away, showing his true emotions.
Yeah, I hate that happened, dog. I really do, man. Cause it helped a lot of people's lives, dude. Hate that happened. Probably to God.
Man.
I feel that was wrong, man. It was just wrong, purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it had never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on it. It never happened, dude.
However, this
do some shit, then be like, yeah, I wish it never happened.
This is where it gets truly weird. Keith D wrote an entire book on being involved in Tupac's passing. It's titled Compton Street Legend. He also did countless interviews hinting towards being in the crime. But why is he now just being arrested for it after decades? Fans believe that it's a cover-up, that Tupac is still alive. So they'll just throw an elderly man in jail that was seen at the crime and think nothing of it. At the end of the day, you have to remember it's Hollywood. So knowing that, do you believe Tupac is alive, or
hey, what you think, man? You think Tupac is alive or what, man? I don't know. Listen, man, this shit's getting real crazy now. You know what I'm saying? The Diddy trial shit gonna have a whole bunch of shit coming out. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a whole lot of shit mixing up, man. Shit gonna be getting real crazy. You know what I'm saying? Word up, man. Tap on in, man. It's your boy, Buck Breeze. Mr. No Slacking himself. No slacking involved. That shit is bad for your health. Be fucking crazy, man. Tupac alive. up, man.